One might think that when the government is shut down because you refuse to extend Affordable Care Act subsidies, when you put 42 million Americans at risk of not getting their food assistance that they rely on to survive, that you might try just a tad bit harder to make sure that you, the billionaire president of the United States, do not host a party at your exclusive resort where the theme is quite literally The Great Gatsby. I mean, talk about on the nose. Was the Hunger Games not available? And of course, this is not a bug, it is a feature. We have a president broadcasting the extent to which he just doesn't care how out of touch he looks, doesn't care about the extent to which he is channeling Marie Antoinette. And it's not just his party celebrating the haves versus the have-nots, it's the fact that the day before that party, he posted, I shit you not, 25 photos about his newly marbled bathroom renovation. It's the fact that he demolished the entire east wing of the White House to build himself a $350 million ballroom. It's the fact that he's using $1 billion in taxpayer money to
Really? It's a lot. Okay, then.
retrofit a jet that he gets to keep. The fact that he's adorned the Oval Office with enough gold to make Liberace blush. The fact that he's doubled his net worth in the last 10 months in office.
It's just one of those days!
The fact that the latest drone contract from the Pentagon went to Don Jr.'s drone company.
What? What the fuck?
And so we've got example after example after example of the fact that this guy has used the presidency to enrich himself and his family and immerse himself in opulence. We've got example after example after example of the fact that this guy has used the presidency to enrich himself and his family and immerse himself in opulence, which would be bad enough unto itself. But remember, this guy ran an entire ass campaign predicated on this idea that he actually gave a shit.
I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
That ain't true. That's what you just saw. Since day one of Donald Trump's presidency, prices are up, not down. Inflation is getting worse, not better. The prices of groceries, gas, housing, rent, eggs, they're all getting more expensive. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has done nothing to lower costs for you. Instead, he's done things like pardon violent criminals who beat police officers on January 6th. He's letting Elon Musk take a chainsaw to vital government programs for Americans and giving him access to Americans' most sensitive data, social security numbers, tax returns, healthcare records, and more. In the most ham-handed fashion, he's fired thousands of essential government workers, people literally who are working to make government more efficient and more accountable. He's frozen federal funding for vital programs like cancer research, veteran services, education programs, payments to family farmers, and so much more. Why? Because Trump and Musk are cutting critical services for you in order to make room for more tax cuts for billionaires like them, while still leaving you to deal with rising costs, a housing crisis, and a healthcare that's getting more expensive and not less. The Republican plan is simple. You lose, and billionaires win. And that is the truth.
He pandered for years and years about the cost of groceries, of housing, of rent, of eggs. He talked about manufacturing jobs, talked about high inflation, talked about wages. And yet now, housing is more expensive. Rent is more expensive. Groceries are more expensive. Manufacturing is contracting. Inflation's been rising every month since March. Wages are flat. Everyone is hurting. And this guy has the balls to get in front of the cameras and try to explain to people how what we needed as a country was a fucking ballroom.
Give me something great! Give me something great!
Trump is not devoid of political strategy. He may have had zero intention of keeping any of his promises from the campaign, but he was still smart enough to deploy those promises because he knew they would work, and they did. The guy isn't stupid. He understands optics. He understands marketing, if nothing else.
Smart people don't like me. You know?
He understands marketing. So the fact that he will then, regardless, still adorn his office with gold and post 25 pictures of his new marble bathroom and literally host a Gatsby-themed party at Mar-a-Lago wasn't some accident. It is simply the result of the fact that he does not care. His priority is not, and never was, working class people. It is himself. It is his family. It's his donors and his rich friends. Those are the people who will ride on his new jet. Those are the people who will dine in his new ballroom. Those are the people who will admire the gold leafing in the Oval Office. All the while, millions of Americans across the country, and especially in red states, will spend the following days hoping their food assistance comes through, while they figure out how they're going to pay 2, 3, 4, 5 times more for health insurance in 2026 than they did in 2025. You don't have to listen to what I say Trump's priorities are. You just have to look at what he's doing. He is broadcasting those priorities a hell of a lot better than I ever could. So I hope his supporters and his voters out there recognize not just the con being perpetuated by Trump, but supported by his entire party. Remember, the GOP's got full control of government. They don't need to compromise with the Democrats. This is their full agenda playing itself out. This is what you get with GOP control. Yes, Donald Trump, but everybody else in the House, everybody else in the Senate, all of whom are going along with this. So they'll say the right things during the campaign, but the moment they have power, it is about helping themselves. So remember this moment, because when they need to pander for your votes again in the upcoming elections, they're going to repeat the same populist platitudes they did before, but when it comes time to govern, their focus will always be helping themselves.